Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, comrades, friends, people I don't like, people I barely even like, people I love. Welcome back to the Center Podcast. I'm your host, DJ Pinhead, founder of West Virginia Progressive Union and this awesome podcast called The Center. We try to get to the heart of the issue. We try to, at some point in time in the conversation or when we review these videos, get to the heart of what the issue is. We're back. It's been a little bit. New setup in the background. I'm liking it. I'm digging it. I'm not in my shed anymore, which is not so cold, which I can appreciate. I can record these videos and not freeze my butt off or have like 3 heaters running in the background. You guys never notice, but sometimes I have it. Or sometimes, oh my god, the crickets. I don't know if you guys ever remember our videos, but they were so, it's like sometimes it would just be loud crickets in the background. Just creak, creak, creak. Just driving me nuts. We got a lot more understanding of what we're doing with this set of videos. It's new year. It's 2024. We're excited. I have a new baby coming in April. That's exciting. I'm going to have a little girl, right? Amazing. I already have my son. Some of you guys have seen him in my videos climbing on me as I talk about this stuff or laugh at crazy people at rallies. But on a more serious note, we have a lot to talk about. Joe Biden is failing in the polls. Donald Trump is surging. It looks like unless Donald Trump literally dies, he's going to be elected the Republican nominee for president. Yes. We live in some crazy multiverse timeline where everything is upside down and things are crazy and we have to deal with people like Donald Trump. We have to deal with people like the new God, what's it called? The new crazy Mike Johnson, the new Republican Speaker of the House. Like all this nut job stuff that literally 8 years ago I never thought we would have to deal with. It bugs me out. So, that being said, we're gonna get into a conversation with Charlamane the God and Angela Rye. I absolutely love Angela Rye. As a political commentator, she's a warrior. She needs to be protected at all costs. Usually when she's up there talking, I'm just like, let her cook. Let Angela cook. But it's seeming like she has this Democratic apologist position, and Charlamagne is trying to get through to her very clearly what the issue is, or he's trying to convey what the overall frustration is with most African American voters, black voters, however you want to be labeled. And she just kind of has this skeptical look on her face through most of the interview where she just thinks that Charlamagne's bugging and we should just accept the fact that Joe Biden is a lackluster candidate who we probably, most of us believe, is going to lose because we see the writing on the wall. Trump supporters are nuts. And I'm not even talking about the regular ones that like don't really like them, respect them, or don't really care for him. I'm talking about the ones that just like just blindly follow him with crazy loyal. Like it's just, oh, golly. So let's get into it. I'm excited to be back. Oh yes, excited to be back.
I care about my listeners and what my listeners think, but I do want to say that, I think President Biden historically has been a lack of a better word, a shitty elected official. But, Donald Trump is the end of democracy as we know it.
So you'd vote for Biden again?
I'm not saying either or, but I think, since y'all ask answers, because that's what y'all do on CNN, you like to ask answers, like you ask. What I say is you asked is if Donald Trump was black, would he get locked up? You know the answer to that.
But I mean,
right?
I don't know the So you are going to vote for Joe Biden?
I think it's simple and plain. Like, you know, if you Donald Trump is the end of democracy as we know it. I mean, I don't know what to tell people. And I know it's
He's not wrong. Biden is doing well. Unemployment, the economy is pretty solid. Gas prices are going back down, kind of thing. And most of that he don't even control, no way. But he's producing natural gas and I believe oil production at rates that we've never seen before. Like, he's killing the game. But that's not translating down to African Americans who feel like Joe Biden won the election with our support specifically, and there's been no real concerted effort to make us a priority or this community a priority. The facts are on Biden's side. It's important. I'll put it to you like this. The facts are on Biden's side. But the important things that black people want to see, simply stronger support for black and working class families. Being more aggressive with Israel and Palestine. That crisis that's going on over there. Black people are really sensitive to the Palestinian issue, and we don't feel like Biden's doing enough. Support black communities with the migrant crisis that's going on. We've noticed that we have been finding millions and trillions or billions of dollars for migrants, and black people have been constantly asking for a more concerted effort of financially, economically into our communities, into our businesses, into our families, and we're not necessarily seeing that. Most of my family is black. I don't know anybody that's happy with what Joe Biden is doing for them. I don't give a damn what's going on with GDP growth or wage growth and yeah, it helps a little bit, but the federal minimum wage is still like $15. Investing in public schools within these communities that we're talking about in working class areas, aggressively work to secure voting rights, getting money out of politics, the George Floyd Justice and Policing and Accountability Act, getting rid of qualified immunity and things like that. Like a plan for women affected by Roe v. Wade getting struck down, which we did not codify. All of these things matter, and it's as if Joe Biden, it's like he knows that they matter and he knows it should be taken care of, but corporate interests are more important to him than what we need him to do, the people who got him across the finish line. It's kind of nuts.
It really actually positively is true.
So, Angela, what he's saying about his Breakfast Club listeners and the disappointment, I guess, that there might be with the Biden administration, do you see that being understood by the Biden campaign? Are they taking that seriously?
I think that there are folks in the campaign. I think there are folks in the White House. There are folks in the VP's office that certainly understand and have stressed these points to them ad nauseum.
Now we're going to get to the part of the interview where we talk about how Kamala Harris is underwhelming, for lack of a better term. Like, I think when we watched her join the Biden ticket, we kind of expected her to have a more front-facing role, and it doesn't seem like that's happened. It's definitely seemed as if, to Charlamane's point, they don't really let her. He says that to Charlamane's point, at one part in the interview, they said that they don't want to let her speak up. And I mean, perception is a reality for a lot of these politicians, and that is the perception, is that they're not allowing her to do the things that she's supposed to be doing, which is speak to the black community. But the fact of the matter is like they don't have any real agenda for black people, period. So I can't even imagine what they could possibly. I mean, they don't put her out front because they don't take the agenda for black people in America seriously.
wasn't even about her, you know, what she's done as vice president, the duties of a vice president. It was about, you know, how she would interact with people who supported her, you know? And I think that even when I say disappear, I'm talking about the person that I spoke to in 2020. You know, when I speak to her, it didn't seem like, you know, she was as much of a politician as she seems to be now. Joe Manchin, no. I want to know who's the real president of this country. Is it Joe Biden or Joe Manchin?
I'm sorry, I interrupted. I don't think the vice president can hear you. It's Simone. I'm so sorry, Charlamane. We have to wrap.
She can hear me.
You can hear me? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me, Madam Vice President?
So I'm sorry, we got to wrap.
Oh.
So I'm sorry to interrupt.
They're acting like they can't hear me.
I can hear you.
Oh, so who's the
I
real?
can hear you.
So who's the real president of this country? Is it Joe Manchin or Joe Biden, Madam Vice President?
Come on, Charlamagne.
Come
on. It's Joe Biden.
I can't tell sometimes.
No. It's Joe Biden, and don't start talking like a Republican about asking whether or not he's president.
Do you think Joe Manchin is a problem?
It's Joe Biden, and I'm vice president, and my name is Kamala Harris. And the reality is, because we are in office, we do the things like the child tax credit, which is going to reduce black child poverty by 50%, on track to do that. We do things that are about saying that our Department of Justice is going to do these investigations.
So a word salad. And that's what he was talking about. She disappeared. She had all this spice. Oh, I'm sorry. She had all this spice, and then she just disappeared. She was on the campaign trail when she was facing Biden, all smoking and hot and kicking it, and like kicking ass and taking names. And then she was telling her, my name is Kamala Harris, putting her finger up. And then they just told her shut up and go somewhere. And she just shut up and went somewhere. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like, Madam Vice President. Sorry to hurt y'all feelings. Sorry to hurt Angela Rye's feelings. You can scrunch your face up all you want, but
Feel like, you know, Bakari Sellers has said it a million times. They've given her a trash portfolio, and, you know, they kind of keep her in the tuck, and they don't let her be who she is willing to be. But I think at a time like this, man, if we're having these serious conversations about, you know, democracy being on the line, I think that all of us should realize the language of politics is dead. And I think, you know, new normals call for new things. So I think now's not the time for her to, you know, be a politician.
You
now
think it's a communication issue that she
Democrats suck at messaging, period. We know this already, though. Like, the Democrats suck at messaging. Like, it's not like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris haven't done a lot of great things. They just don't know how to message it to the American people.
Who is a politician that you could support that for the president?
he's absolutely right. The language of politics as we used to know it is absolutely dead. We need a different strategy. Democrats need to come up with more creative and better ways to get this stuff done.
Presidency, a new age politician, in your words.
Does it matter if our only choices right now are Biden and Trump?
It
does.
does.
It does. I mean, I'm curious about,
reimagine a world. You know, what do you see out there? Do you see anybody fulfilling what you think needs to be done at that level?
No. Not in a little bit, because like I said, the language of politics is dead, and I think that's one thing, you know, Trump did.
And Democrats have no interest in changing. They want to just, excuse me, they want to just be willing to win these votes without having to do any real policy work with black people, or at least attempt to. I mean, I don't see them. We don't see them in our communities working hard. We see people who are pandering, but we don't see people coming into our communities all year round. They want to come around when it's convenient for them to get elected or fundraise.
Did do. Like, Trump made it to where you could speak truth to power if you want to, but I think that a lot of folks choose not to. Like, nobody's stupid. Like, we're all sitting there.
Definitely wasn't truth he was speaking either.
I'm not gonna say it was truth, but it's truthful to the people that he's speaking to. Like, you know, whenever you can get on, if you can get on TV and you can say, hey, I'm gonna be a dictator on day one, and nobody gets upset about that. In fact, that just causes you to go up in the polls. They like clearly the things that he's saying. Maybe saying he's speaking truth is the wrong thing to say, but he's definitely speaking to.
And for all my black people who think that Trump is an ally, I'm telling you, when he becomes dictator or wants to become dictator for a day, it's going to turn into more than a day. And I'll show you at some point in time, he's going to set his sights on the African American community, black community, and you Negroes will not be happy about it.
His constituents.
He's speaking to the fear and stoking the fear of an electorate that is very concerned about what Tip was even saying earlier about a rising majority. We know that is.
Fear or not, whether he's speaking to the fear or not, it's working. And he could win just by doing that. That's not a good argument at all. That's a terrible argument because none of these people who want to vote for Trump give a damn that he's using fear. They love it. They're eating it up. It's working for them. Jeez, Lou. Some of these Democrats just don't get it, and I literally am. My brain hurts trying to figure out why they can't understand what we just are simply trying to put down.
To come out to light a fire under the campaign. And for y'all to, go out there and start doing things. And then, when it comes to President Biden, the first thing you do is go to a beautiful black church, Emmanuel and me, in my birthplace, Charleston, South Carolina, and then go to the soul food spot, Hannibal's Restaurant. Like, that is the thing that Democrats have been doing for years. Like, that's not effective anymore. Just showing up to a black church and then going to a soul food restaurant.
If the election were held today, I mean, do you think Biden wins? Or
So to me, where does this leave me? What's the main part of this, the center of this that I want to get to? Polls ultimately, I mean, every single election, it never fails. Every single election, they talk about the polls, they talk about the polls, they talk about the polls. When it comes to people coming out and voting, the polls are never right. And you always hear people say, well, this is why you can't really worry about polls. This is why you really can't focus on polls. Blah, blah, blah. Polls don't matter. Not as much as we giving it credit to. But Dems also don't get it. There's some truth to it. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the be all end all. But Democrats don't get it. It is not in their favor. Because everybody's talking about it. I mean, one thing, it was just in the polls and then nobody was really saying anything, but everybody's talking about it. My wife, who is a staunch Democrat, she's a Democrat. She will tell you straight, I'm going to always probably vote Democrat. Ain't no way in hell she's going to be a Republican. But even she just, out of nowhere, out of the blue, just told me, you know what? Baby, I don't think anybody's going to vote for Joe Biden. What? It's either that, Trump, or stay home. And Charlamagne is absolutely right. I'm not a lesser of two evils believer. Or I don't really get into that. Like, I'm gonna vote my interests. I'm gonna vote to protect my children. I'm gonna vote to protect my community. Based on who's on that ticket. Now, if she's saying that, my wife is saying she don't think that she gonna be able to vote for Joe Biden. She don't know anybody that's voting for Joe Biden. Like, that is alarming. We are talking about it openly. It just sucks because the only real choices are Biden and Trump. And so much is on the line right now. You know? So much is on the line. Roe v. Wade and a lot of the policies that's going on with the judges that we need to get on so that we can help protect Roe v. Wade in a lot of these states, help protect abortion rights in a lot of these states is on the line. And most importantly, Israel and Palestine. And I'm going to be honest with you. You don't want to vote for Biden. You want to stay home. I get it. I'm in the same boat. I genuinely don't know what I'm going to do. Like, it is maddening. I'm just praying Cornel West is on the ticket. I'm praying Cornel West is on the ticket. I'm praying Cornel West is on the ticket. Because with the two issues that I care about the most, if Trump is in office, he's going to make it 1 billion times worse. a billion, like that's a no-brainer. And I'm not gonna lie, a part of it is pretty crazy to watch people who it's pretty crazy to watch that so many people who are uninformed have no idea how important a lot of this stuff that's coming up is. Vote. Please vote. I care who you vote for. I'm not gonna say I don't care who you vote for. I'm gonna mind my business is to mention vote. And please do it the most smart way that you can. I'm glad we back. Jackson's art is up. I got this divider because I think it kind of looks cool. It adds a little to the look that I'm trying to set. I got a blue thing going on. My wife got me these lights for Christmas. Guys, I'm so happy. She got me 4 sets of lights. Now all I gotta do is get like a proper backdrop, but I actually really like this. I just kind of just stole this, and I'm gonna I guess I'll just decorate it, put some more of my son's art up on it. But the Center Podcast is back, y'all. Much love. Appreciate you guys for watching. This is the first episode. We got more to talk about. Like I said, as far as the issues that we're dealing with, Israel and Palestine is next. We're going to talk about that. Father God, help us.